Were you going to say something?
I was just thinking about how one's mind is at large. You know, yeah,
One's mind is at large.
yes. You know, we're talking about reactions and feelings. Well, where are they?
It's good.
It
might not be in there.
They're not in here, right? No.
It's not personal.
It's this, isn't it? That here is no head, no box, no mind.
So it's at large.
Yes. My thoughts are kind of floating about with the raven there.
Actually, Richard, I think that's one of the most profound things I've got from this. That I mean, we associate the head with the mind.
Yes.
So much. Don't
And it's
we?
my mind.
And one time, you know, we were doing this, and it just occurred to me: no head, no mind. It's out there somewhere.
Yes.
And what that's done for me is I find I don't stew over things like I used to. I don't create stories about things. I'll have an emotion like you, or a reaction to something, and it'll be like that's what's happening, but it doesn't last. It doesn't turn into this, oh God, you know, great story and drama. It'll just be gone.
Yes.
So this is so beautiful for that.
It's a fantastic thing.
Well, it's liberating. It's not my mind.
Yes.
And where it is, you know,
Where is my mind?
Yes.
I mean, I have a mind, but where is it? It sort
Where?
of blends with the floor, and it blends with the wall. You know, my thoughts are like creeping up the wall. You know, this is very badly described,
It's
but
like that line from Parkoon, you know, Spike Milligan. Terrible pain shot down his leg across the street and up a lamppost on the other side.
yes, it's right. I mean, one is fully aware. Well, you see, this is where as the baby, your mind is at large and you don't know it's not. And your body is at large. Your sensations of your body are at large and you don't know they're not. And growing up is learning about the idea, you know, that your body sensations are here and not there, and your mind is here and not there. Brilliant, you see. But now when you see who you really are, you have both. So, you know that publicly you take responsibility as much as you can, you know, and try and behave and everything. And that no one else can experience your thoughts and feelings, right? That's a developmental stage of maturity, isn't it? As an infant child is realizing no one else can know what you're thinking, so you can tell lies, right?
Oh, I remember that phase.
Yes.
That was the great liberation.
Yes. But now you know that, you know, that social awareness, I suppose, that no one experiences your body sensations or your mind and feelings, but privately then you relax into your mind being at large, and my body sensations sort of merge with the walls. It's a delightful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
Yes, this being out of the box is really...
And there's something, it goes deeper and deeper all the time, this, doesn't it? It's such a simple thing, but it's just unfolding never-endingly with new insights. You know, I'm convinced it'll never run out of ideas or new, you know, new experiences or whatever. You know, but to me, I was just thinking about it recently, that no head, no brain, right? No mind. And you can understand why people would resist this as an idea, because, you know, I need my brain to function with and to operate with, you know, in the world. Well, nothing's changed except you're seeing that you're absolutely free of all that stuff here. Your mind is out there. You're like watching it, huge, including, and it's not separate. It's not separated in a little box physically by 2 meters from the world, you know.
And it's not bad. It's not.
It's just what it
demon.
is.
It's just what it is.
Yes. Sometimes it's devilish, isn't it? And sometimes it's angelic, but it's there. And it's part of the view. Like yeah, it's so kind of It's basically non-judgmental because the no mind doesn't judge it. The judgments are all there, aren't they? But I kind of thinking, wow, this is just such a radical thing, operating from no mind, not from this little brain, from this no mind. And I think that's where trust probably comes in. And I don't trust it all the time. I think I set it up like that, like I set it up to forget, because I like returning. So I mean, when you saw who you were, you suddenly trusted all the time, non-stop.
Yeah, then you wouldn't, get to fool around.
And you wouldn't have the interesting kind of adventure of thinking, oh, I think I might just try trusting this a little bit. Whoa, it's a bit scary. It might not,
Yeah.
And if with problem solving, it's like, wow, there's this incredible resource here that came up with the whole thing.
It's a fallacy anyway to think that our thoughts belong to us. It's like they come and go as they please.
Exactly.
Anyway.
In what sense are they ours?
So what sense, but it's, yes, as you're talking.
Yes,
that's
yes.
a flash I got. It's kind of absurd.
On that point of, the combination of adventure and safety, I mean, I was watching a program about some guys designing and building a roller coaster. And there are two aims for a roller coaster. One is that it scares the living crap out of whoever rides on it, and B, that it's completely safe, right? That's how we've got it set up.
Yes, it is.
It's completely safe, and yet it's capable of scaring the living crap out of it.
And I don't know if it's your experience. I imagine it is. You've got a challenge or a problem or something to solve, and the one comes up with something.
Yeah.
It comes up with something. Now, it's just usually something very fresh and new. You'd have never really thought of it logically or something. And it is so exciting and interesting.
Usually so obvious. In retrospect. Yes.
In retrospect, yes. But I mean, a life lived from this freedom and this unknowing. It's a bit scary. You've got it's a roller coaster.
And it's often subtle. So for me, it comes in really subtly. So it's something I have to say hello to.
Hello to what? The new idea or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's subtle. It's more subtle. So it is about me trusting it, being open to it, just even to notice it. Ah, there it is. It's subtle. And it's about letting myself be led by the subtle
yes.
instead of the gross.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's the sort of whisper of intuition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than the sort of, bellow of reason. I mean, I'm not knocking reason, you need reason too. But,
Yeah.
But what an incredible place. Nothing. It's not, you can't, it's not nothing. It's whatever it is. It's so inventive and smart, isn't it? It's coming up with this situation now. How does it do that? It's just incredible.
Yeah, for me the experience has been more and more realising it's not personal, and to the extent, like, if say something happens and someone says, oh, you did a really good job, and conventionally you go, oh yeah, thanks for that, and I've actually got better at saying thanks when people compliment me, because I don't feel like it's me that did it. It just happened, that idea came along, I could see that it was a good idea, so I did it. But often when you say look at people who are famous, and say a famous scientist or a famous sportsman or famous this, and something great's happened and they're lauded on the news, and it's personally, the way our society is, it's personally like, you are a really fantastic person because this happened. And I often see that person thinking like, it's not me.
No, I just took one step after
and it
last
just
one.
happened.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that we, as a society, haven't started taking that step. We just go, isn't it great that happened and you were the vehicle for it? Because that's what I feel like happens now in my life. That just was the obvious thing to do, and I stepped forward and did it,
Yeah.
Like even when you're helping people say you're out and about and there's people around, say you see a mother struggling with a pram, sometimes you're the person who's going to step up and help them with it, and sometimes it's going to be someone else in the crowd. But I feel like we're all one. We're all looking. We're going, oh, she needs help, and someone's going to step forward and help her, and we're all part of it because we're all noticing, helping that person, and then the person nearby looks and helps her. So it's actually all a one whole
Yes.
movement. It's not like, wasn't that person great to help her? It's like we're all part of the noticing as well. And she was part of the, here's a problem that needs to be solved. So, and we're all just together. And I often feel like that more and more when I'm out in the world and just seeing people interacting and
you're
being
following
together.
orders, or you're doing the next appropriate thing.
Next obvious thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
coming from this without having to know.
And I think everyone is from it, but most people just don't notice they're from
Yes.
it. But of course, if someone is presented with a woman struggling with a pram, they're going to help her
Yeah.
because it's the next obvious thing to do.
The other thing is the thinking mind has a really good PR department. And it will construct a narrative around what's happened that
Yeah.
puts, your third person self at the centre of that as
Yeah.
the hero.
Yes.
And we kind of need to do that
Yes.
in our lives anyway.
Yeah.
We do have to have a narrative,
Yeah.
But what seeing this does for me is it frees me from that narrative being defining in any way. It's more or less just, the
Being
narrative is just
personal.
like a guide wire on which I can kind of hang my memories or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a fixed thing. And then you begin to realise how dodgy your memories are anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
I've
you
been
shape
noticing
it.
that.
It's called getting older.
They're really random anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, what you remember. And
What you notice.
if you want to test this, just talk about an event that you and one of your siblings both witnessed as children, and talk about it, and you'll be amazed how different the accounts are.
Yeah, another thing that sort of excites me at the moment, and I suppose this is one of the values for me of meeting together, is that you've got at least half a chance that others will understand you. I mean, on the bus they probably wouldn't understand what I'm just going to tell you. But I've been, because
Where is your mind?
well, exactly, exactly.
Where's your mind? Mine's all over.
Mine's all over the place, you see. Isn't it wonderful? Is that the doctor? But and you see, the experience is non-verbal and complete, and the reaction is developmental, isn't it? And we mature with it in a way, more or less, and keep doing so, I suppose. And I've been enjoying the perspective, if you like, that it's all this whole view is single, and it's floating in consciousness, in God. And actually, I mean, I was thinking of, Lord of the Rings, and they travel through a very mysterious, dangerous country that they've never been in before, and anything can jump out of the darkness or something. I do feel the void is a bit like that. Anything can jump out. It's really a mythic journey one is on. It's fantastic. And so this amazing scene, which you sort of put your finger out and go, is it really there? I mean, this whole thing is actually there, floating in my consciousness, in God, and it's so intimate, isn't it? I mean, it's not distant at all. And so my nature, my identity, is this one singleness, floating in this unpredictable mystery, And then when you sort of talk to someone else, the normal view is they're just a solid person like you. But when you see this about yourself, you realise, every one of us here, in a way, you think about it, is that's a world floating in this nothingness. I mean, there's enough room, but it's wow. That's a what a world.
Actually, universes talking to each other.
It's yes, amazing. But what a kind of mysterious place to be travelling through, this mysterious emptiness. It's coming up with this.
But when you let go of trying to build an entity at the subjective pole of experience and just notice the bleeding obvious that there's nothing there, and that's how it works. It needs to be nothing there, like a mirror has to be empty, or a camera lens has to be clear. There's got to be transparency here. Then you stop trying to put a receiving person or entity here. where is the experience happening,
Yes.
right? And who is experiencing it? And the thing I get to is that it's all experiencing itself. It's experiencing itself.
Yes.
So I'm space for you experiencing yourself there as the appearance of Christopher. That's the reality.
Yeah.
It's like what you were talking about, the intimacy of being the bird sound, of being what you experience, because you suddenly realise that this nothingness, everythingness here is appearing.
Is
there.
it all?
Is
Is it all?
It's not just.
It's not just a little hunk of it all.
No. It's the whole shebang, and therefore everything you're looking at is an appearance of you, actually. But not in a solipsistic way. It's like I realise that for you, it's like that there, with a different view out. The different view out. How do we do it? How do we do this? I mean, it's astonishing. Our logical categories don't cover how this works. We can't actually figure it out.
I think that's what is so appealing about nature for us, is that it's easy to recognise.
That's true.
You know, it's easy to recognise. Oh, that, you know, that's me, or I, or whatever.
It's a more recognisable self-portrait.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't argue with you about it. People sometimes do.
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah. But the fact that it's non-verbal, means that there's no one way of describing it. Like the way you've just described it, and then someone else may put another angle on it, and one can be open to these different views because
And they're all enriching.
there isn't a right way of seeing it. Yes. Yeah. I mean, you wonder what it's going to come up with next, don't you? I mean, it's just
I
very.
was thinking that when something bothered me, I have a place in the bush and I own it with somebody, and there was some conflict, and I was thinking, I can't really put a stake in about my stance because it could really change. And not only that, my whole life could change. Like in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. And I saw that. And then what I did is say it a bit more lightly than I wanted to. And my whole concerns and life and needs and wants did change, like just in a month. Because I have to, it's easier if I think of myself as forever changing than think of myself as some little solid block that
Exactly.
just is the same all the time, and then make a bunch of stuff around that. Because it's not how, so I'm starting to trust the movement, I guess. Kind of what you were saying, but another way. I can actually learn to trust the movement.
Yeah.
That I might take offense at this now, but I might not next week. It's not a solid object.
Yeah, I've transferred that over to other people as well. Like I used to think people were very fixed, and you think they're this and they're
Yes.
that. And as you realise that you're not fixed, you go, well, they're not fixed either. And so, say if someone does something I don't like, I think, well, at that time, they were annoyed and they expressed it that way, but they might not next time.
Yes.
Might never happen again. So it's not like they're whatever. They're a certain way. That's just how they were
Yes.
then.
Yes.
And it helps me to meet people and talk to people
Yes.
in a more fresh way. Because I
Yes.
don't have these.
No.
If you don't have this judgment looking out, then you
No.
then you
I know
meet
what
people
you
in a more
mean.
fresh way, and people
Yeah.
kind of notice it.
Yes.
And often you have a new interaction with them, a different way of interacting, even if you've known them for a long time.
Yes.
It can be quite surprising.
And
Yes.
it can be really surprising. Like, Joss's friends come in and they always think they can talk to me. So I said, why do you think you can talk to me? I said, I don't like talking to people. And,
You said that?
yeah. I said, you can't just talk to me. And so I just said that. And then they've incorporated it now. And now when they come over, they all make a point of coming in and saying, hello, Jessie. And whenever they leave, bye, Jessie. And so they respect what I say. They don't try to sit down and have these giant long conversations with me because I'm a mom. And that's what moms
Free
do.
therapy session.
But they like take the piss out of it or something, So what I'm trying to say is, it liberates their creativity when I do that. Like I see a part of them that they wouldn't even do if I was their stereotypical mom. Then they would sit down and have these boring, not really boring. Like, do you think my girlfriend wants fake tits? Do you think if I really loved her, I'd pay for half of the cosmetic surgery? And that's $5,000.
And if so, the left or the right?
Do you think that's
Which one's mine?
to be?
We usually get onto this subject.
What's needed
Usually
to
gravitates
be
to this, yeah.
a good boyfriend in our culture. I'm the cultural representative now. So I said, have you ever occurred to you that nipples lose their feeling? And what would you feel like if your penis lost its feeling 20% while you were having sex? I said, maybe you put that into the equation and see what guys all think about this. Well, then they go out and they don't try a big thing with me. But it makes them creative too.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You're right, and
Other people
yes,
wake up.
yes.